Thank you very much, Irene. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me. And I really want to thank everybody for having the fortitude to come back in after the break on an afternoon like we've got out there today. I appreciate that. I'm going to talk about clean coal as the green alternative energy. And I recognize that it is a bit of a bold statement, but hopefully you'll hang in with me and maybe have some form of agreement by the time that we get done. And it's even a more bold statement in a sunny place like Palm Springs, in a state that favors natural gas imports for its electricity, and let's all agree suffers from some of the highest energy prices in the nation. But at a time when energy and environment are two of the toughest challenges facing society today, some of you may be sitting back thinking, okay, how is this guy going to convince me that black is the new green? Well, again, let's hang in for a bit, because I suspect many here today would agree that progressive energy policy means greater use of renewables, greater energy efficiency, and greater conservation of energy. And let's all agree that there is merit to those approaches. But I strongly believe we need all forms of energy to meet soaring global demand, as well as greater energy efficiency. But ultimately, we can't shrink ourselves to prosperity. I believe we need more energy to continue to improve our quality of life, alleviate energy poverty, and help people live longer and better. So we have to ask ourselves, how do we achieve our environmental goals? How do we improve energy security? How do we create strong economic growth, improve quality of life, and build a sustainable future? Well, I know it's no surprise to all of you that I believe that the answer is clean coal. What you're looking at is an 85-foot thick coal seam at our North Antelope Rochelle mine in the Powder River Basin of Wyoming. Now, that mine this year will produce around 100 million tons of coal, making it the largest coal mine in the world. To put that in perspective, that 100 million tons of coal will produce around 25 gigawatts of power, or enough electricity for around 25 million people. That's the resource that we have in this country. It's the resource we have to collectively figure out how to make work for the longer term. So let's talk about why coal. We live in an energy-short world. Global energy demand is soaring. Coal's low cost, abundance, and security of supply makes it the best solution to fuel the world's strongest economies. Coal is driving enormous economic development at a time when oil has hit record triple-digit prices, reserves are depleting, and costly natural gas supplies are increasingly strained and coming from volatile regions. Demand is being led by China and India, whose enormous pace of growth is forever changing energy and supply dynamics around the world. Greater use of coal is also especially important as nations seek energy security that has been put at risk from the growing trends towards naturalization, protectionism, and the use of energy resources for political gain. So given the inherent limitations of other fuels, coal is the only large-scale sustainable fuel that can meet these needs. I'm going to show that coal has a good track record of environmental improvement, and greater use of coal for power generation will continue to grow as we move to near-zero emissions and carbon storage. Proven technology that converts the energy stored in coal into other high-demand energy forms, what we call BTU conversion, is expanding the markets for clean coal to natural gas, to diesel fuel, and aircraft fuels. Peabody were involved in evaluating several clean coal-to-gas projects using our vast reserves that would be designed as carbon capture-ready facilities. We also continue to advance the science of carbon storage through regional partnerships like the Midwest Geologic Sequestration Consortium. Greater use of coal for clean electricity and BTU conversion is also creating opportunities for entrepreneurs who seek to commercialize new technologies. So let's look at the basic question, why coal? The global population will grow 25% to more than 8 billion people in the next 25 years. World GDP will more than double. Global energy consumption will increase by over half. And world electricity generation will double, all based on forecasts by the International Energy Agency. Coal has been the world's fastest growing fuel for each of the past 5 years. And global coal use is expected to increase nearly 75% over the next 25 years as new coal plants and BTU conversion projects are built. World electricity demand will nearly double during this time frame, and in the United States, coal-fueled generation will account for nearly 60% of all new capacity, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration's newest 2007 Annual Energy Outlook. So all told, more than 155,000 megawatts of coal-fueled generation is under construction around the world, representing over 500 million tons of annual coal use. Thanks to the abundance and low cost, coal is the only fuel that can shoulder this load of energy demand. Looking a little closer, China and India today account for almost a quarter of the world's primary energy use, with populations that reach billions and sustained annual double-digit economic growth. In the next 25 years, China will invest an astounding $3.7 trillion to build out its energy supply structure and add 1,300 gigawatts of electricity. That is more capacity than is currently installed in the United States today. Primary energy demand in India is expected to more than double by 2030, and India's coal use could triple. So as nations around the world awaken to the benefits of electrification and modern energy, the world's enormous appetite for energy will continue for the foreseeable future. Here you see China uses approximately 1/10 the electricity per capita as the United States, and they only have about 1% of the per capita passenger vehicle ownership. One only has to imagine the continued demands on global energy as China alone continues to move up these per capita curves. It means an enormous increase in energy and coal. In fact, if China were to use the same per capita amount of coal as the U.S., China would consume the world's entire coal production by itself. Now, even the rise of the automobile use is a major demand driver that contributes to convenience, but also is one of the largest contributors to carbon dioxide emissions. Compare the growth in the United States, which is relatively flat, with that of China. You can see where they are and where they want to go, and consider what impact or tremendous strain China's growth in automobile use will have on the demand for oil. In China, that difference could mean the need for more than 15 million barrels of oil per day by 2030 for their transportation needs. That compares to just 250,000 barrels per day today. Sustainability, of course, is not just about economic growth, but you have to consider the strong correlation between electrification and the prosperity as here defined by the United Nations Human Development Index. As our colleagues at the International Energy Agency have shown, the economies of nations that have access to low-cost electricity also enjoy improved health and longevity.